Hello, this is Doug Jones. Welcome to our YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be talking about trust, and you may have one. And I'm going to be specifically talking today, doing a comparison between Revocable Living Trust versus Irrevocable Trust. I'm going to be using these two boxes today as a visual aid. Some people like me, I'm a visual. It helps to have a visual aid. So Revocable Living Trust, this is a trust that you have access to, and it's very flexible. A lot of you have a revocable living trust to hold title to your assets while you're living, and some of you may have an irrevocable trust represented by this solid box. And the comparison between the two, both trusts avoid probate. Now, why is that important? Why is it important to avoid probate? If you have a will, for example, a will says what you want to happen to your property after you die. You may say, I've got two kids and I want my property to go 50-50 to my kids, and you say that in your will. But you have to go through probate to make that happen. So let's say you own a house in the town in which you live. The house is in your name, or if you're married, husband and wife. When the husband dies, he goes to wife. Wife dies, he goes to husband. But what happens when the second one of them die? Well, a lot of times the title is the stuck. If you go to the circuit clerk's office in your county, the title is in your name. While you're alive, you can sell it. But after you die, obviously you can't sell it. And you may have a will that says, I want it to go to someone specific when I die, but then you got to go through probate to make it happen. Well, how does a trust avoid probate? Well, with a trust, for example, if you got a revocable living trust, you can open it up, put the title in there while you're alive. You control it. You can sell it. You can open it up, take it out, sell it. You control it. You're the trustee. And the reason it avoids probate is you're titling it over to the revocable trust while you're alive. And then when you die, the trust doesn't die. You didn't own the house. The trust did. You're the trustee of it. And then you have a successor trustee whose job is to do with the house whatever you said to do in the trust. So you may say it's to be divided amongst my two kids equally. They hold it as tenants in common, or they can sell it and split the money, or one of them gets a house, one of them gets some money, or whatever you said. That's what happens in your revocable living trust or your irrevocable trust. Both of them avoid probate because you're retitling the asset from your name to the trust name while you're alive. And then at death, your trustee can pass title to whoever you want it to go to. Now, the trust establishes a successor trustee who's a person that manages the assets the way you said in a trust, and both of them designate a beneficiary to receive the assets when you die. So those are some of the commonalities between those two documents. The revocable trust, we often refer to that as the open box because it's very flexible. You get access to your money. You can open it at any time, close it at any time. You're the trustee. If you're married, husband and wife are the co-trustees. One of you die, the other one's a trustee. Again, it avoids probate. Our assets in a revocable trust protected from the nursing home. What they mean is if I go to a nursing home and have to apply for Medicaid, if I've put my home in the revocable living trust, is it some way protected? No. A lot of times we have to take the home out of your revocable living trust, at least in Arkansas, and title it back in your name, and then we can take other actions to protect the home and prevent it from being recouped on after you die so that it can go to your kids or whoever you want it. So it's not protected from nursing home spin down because, to use DHS's wording, any assets in a revocable trust are available to you, and if they're available to you, then they're subject to having to be spent before you qualify for Medicaid. That's a whole different webinar that you may want to watch. Now, irrevocable trust, we refer to this as the closed box because you may open it up, put assets in there, it's locked. You can't be the trustee of your irrevocable trust. The assets can't be available to you because if you go to the nursing home and apply for Medicaid to help pay your nursing home bill, that's one of the questions that's asked on the Medicaid application. What assets are available to you? And anything in the revocable trust is available to you. Anything in the irrevocable trust is not. And there's a 5-year look back rule with this, meaning if you've transferred any assets for no money, they may be counted just as if the transfer happened yesterday. There's a lot more to that process, but if mom's going to the nursing home tomorrow and you put stuff in the irrevocable trust today, it's not going to work in most cases for asset protection purposes because it's not been even close to 5 years. So assets must have been in the irrevocable trust more than 5 years before they can be protected in the event that you go to the nursing home and apply for Medicaid benefits. The irrevocable trust is used to hold title to excess assets, whatever excess assets are. So if you've got an extra $1 million, you can put that in there. If you've got a legacy asset like a farm, maybe it was grandpa's farm, he died and left it to dad. Now dad's left it to you, and you're going to the nursing home and you don't want to lose it. To you, it may just be that old farm out there, but that old farm out there may be worth $1 million. So it's important to protect things like that. And to effectively protect it using an irrevocable trust, you need to start that planning process early. What's the catch with this irrevocable trust? If it protects assets, why wouldn't everybody want to do it? Well, it's irrevocable. All assets are not available to you in the event that you apply for Medicaid to help pay for your long-term care expenses. Whatever you put in here is off the table if it's funded more than 5 years ago. The key questions you might ask before using an irrevocable trust: what assets does your family own that you really want to keep? And say, well, I'd like to keep everything, but again, there's trade-offs. Whatever you put over here in a revocable trust is available to you to use. Whatever you put over here is not available to you. So what assets does your family own that you really want to keep, you don't want to spend down, and you won't need for your own care? So those are some things you may want to think about before funding an irrevocable trust to protect assets. There is a bullet point summary page attached to this video that you can download that will help remind you of some of these points mentioned in this video, so feel free to download that. If we can help, give us a call, 501-843-9014. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.